There we go. Okay, how's it going, everybody? It's Buddy Basil here. You're at the Canary Cry News Talk live show pre-show. La-da-da-da-da-da-da. My chat function is having a little bit of trouble. Oh no, my monitors. They are not synchronized. Okay. All right, everybody, we sent out the text message. If you're not getting the text messages, you should sign up for the text message alert system. You can do that by texting the word Canary to 877-740-3226. That's Canary to 877-74 something. What was it? Oh, gosh. 877-740-3226. That's what it is. And you'll get a text message before every show. It's a great way to guarantee that you get the notification when YouTube and Twitch and everybody else doesn't want you to watch the show. All right. Well, we got a great show for you today. And we're going to get started in just a moment. Remember, here's just a quick announcement. We'll make it again, but for those who attempted to watch the Podfather episode, Monday's episode, listen to it on the podcast RSS feed. Yes, there was a big whoopsies with the file that was uploaded, but it has now since been corrected. So go there. Do not try to play the episode from your recently played list. You're going to want to get rid of that. You're going to want to navigate to the CCNT, Canary Cry News Talk podcast page, and then click on the most recent episode. Because if you already tried to stream it and you just press play on the thing you tried to stream, it's just going to play you the same file. So you need to go refresh the file. Give it a go. It's a good time. All right, everybody. We're going to get the show started here. So hang on to your butts. Maybe not. Maybe we're going to wait. We're going to wait a second before the show gets started. There's a chance that Gons started playing and is doing the episode himself, but has everything muted. That's possible. But right now, we're just hanging out. Hanging out. The timer is down. This has just become a hangout session. Producer JC over on the Rumble here says, congratulations on getting the Podfather on the shows. What an achievement. Been really enjoying the recent waves of CCR. I'm glad. Thank you for that, Producer JC. We really appreciate it. We're trying to get more interviews going, trying to go on other people's shows, but also try to keep the interviews flowing over on the CCR feed. Appreciate everybody's participation and kind words. All right, let's try this again. Let's try to get the show started. Here we go. All together now. 3, 2, 1. Woo!
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is November 15th, 2023, and we are live to tape on episode 689, and today, COMMIEFORNICATION. And signing on from Off the Grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy Basil, and you are not crazy.
And my name is Gons, director of the Age of Deceit films, recently minted PhD of media deconstruction. Your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape from cold, rainy, but clean California to bring you the best news, the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events and today's emergent phenomena. Basil, at least in my neck of the woods, the boss is in the building, baby. He's here. He's here to inspect his property. And we'll get into all that. But yeah.
You're talking about Xi Jinping.
I don't know who I'm talking about. Is that who I'm talking about?
Okay. Yeah. That's the boss around here.
Uh-huh.
All right, folks. Before we get the show started, let's go ahead and hit that disclaimer.
Let's do it.
It's time for a disclaimer.
Now listen up.
YouTube. That's right. And just for all the content moderators and censorship managers out there, be they robots or humans, everything you hear on this show comes directly from the mainstream corporate news media. We do not claim to be experts on healthcare, geopolitics, military strategy, corporate law, or the moral and ethical implications of any of these topics, nor do we implicitly or explicitly support or subscribe to any sources or narratives containing misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, as defined by the Department of Homeland Security. We're good boys. All right, YouTube, we're good boys. That's right. And let me give you a rundown.
Oh, look, here's Basil.
Let me bring you up to speed.
That's right, folks. We're starting out with the big news of the day. The boss is in the building, as Gon said. Xi has visited and smiled upon California. We'll talk about some of the uproar regarding that. And, you know, who knows? Maybe now you might agree with a Californian. Then, of course, Flippy getting all up in space. We'll be talking about another version of the space Flippy. Then a little bit of politics, folks. That's right. Very serious show around here. It's Rumble in the Jungle over in the Congress buildings, the hollowed halls. Things are starting to look a little bit more reminiscent of, pre-Civil War parliamentary proceedings. We've got fights breaking out. We've got sucker punches in the hallways. It's going to be a great time. And, of course, it takes a racist extremist to call for some ethics investigations around here. My goodness. Then we'll be catching up on one of the bigger stories from last week regarding Israel and Gaza conflict in the context of fifth generational warfare. It's their forks. It's their forks. And that's the great thing about fifth generational warfare is it's not so one-sided. We might think of it as being pretty one-sided battle, but boy, oh boy, is the Rebel Alliance pretty good at sneaking their way in. Then at the end of the show, of course, Antarctica. Putin has taken a very special interest in the White Desert. What could he be searching for? But before that, guns, let's start with our lead stories.
Chinese news! The Chinese news.
It comes from China. China. It's not racist at all, no.
It's NEWSOM science, baby! Ha!
Oh yeah, it's NEWSOM science. It's all the things. There's some footage going around X of a procession. There's Chinese flags everywhere, red banners with yellow writing that cannot be read, and dark vehicles, police cars escorting more cars. Who knows which one Xi is in?
All up and down the boulevard.
All up and down the boulevard. Is this Beijing? No, this is not Beijing. This is San Francisco, baby. Looking more like China than China itself.
Gavin did a great job of making sure that Xi knows who's really in charge. You know, when our politicians visit China, which I'm not so sure about how often our presidents visit China. I know they speak once in a while. It's a very big deal. But I have a hard time believing that if we showed up to Beijing, the streets would be lined with American flags and the Star-Spangled Banner blasting over the crowd.
You know, I was thinking about it. The only real, true thing that Xi should do while he's here is play football against like pop football, like, I don't know, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, Pop Warner kids, and just take one out. Just tackle a guy.
One for one.
One for
eye
one.
Eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye. Just and laugh it off. Hug him. Make it all awkward.
So
all right.
cute.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Cute.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, Gavin Newsom's visit to China a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago. He was playing basketball with these kids, and he just took one out. Just
destroyed.
Forearm to the chest of a little
talented
10-year-old.
baller.
Yeah.
Ball is life,
Yeah.
says Gavin Newsom.
Yeah. All right. So this is how AP is reporting it from mirrored on Yahoo News. And the headline here: Lush, private Northern California estate is site for Xi Biden meeting.
Okay.
U.S. President Joe Biden and China's Xi Jinping will meet at a historic country house and museum with lavish gardens for one-on-one talks aimed at improving relations between the two superpowers. The two leaders will meet Wednesday at Filoli, a secluded estate along Northern California's coastal range. It was built in 1917. Wow, that whole time period just keeps popping up a lot recently.
Yeah, what an important year.
Yeah.
It was built the same year that Gaza was divided up by the
Balfour.
British,
Yeah.
and Northern Ireland was also divided up by the British.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, it was built in 1917 as a private residence and later became a National Trust for Historic Preservation site. The estate is about 25 miles south of San Francisco, where leaders are gathering for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Leaders' Conference this week. The location for the meeting was disclosed by 3 senior administration officials who spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss a matter with security implications. But let's tell the news where it is anyway. Bonnie Glaser, managing director of the Indo-Pacific program at the German Marshall Fund, said the location likely has met Xi's expectation for a private meeting with Biden away from the main summit venue. Quote, it appears to be quiet, secluded estate where Biden and Xi can have an intimate conversation in a relaxed environment. I'm sure filled with surveillance. I don't know. Insects.
Yeah, that
and
place.
I'm sure
Hopefully that place is bugged out the wazoo.
Bugged out the wazoo. Probably all the nano particle watch sensors are all in play. The whole deal.
Get
Quote,
some white hats in there to catch the corruption between the Pelosi nephew Gavin Newsom and
always
Xi Jinping.
Yeah. Importantly, this is a continued quote. Importantly, the venue is not connected to the APEC summit, so it provides the appearance that the two leaders are having a bilateral summit that is distinct from the multilateral APEC summit. Oh man, I guess Xi and Biden meeting is its own summit. It's like its own thing. There's no audience or anything.
Xi and Biden or Xi and Newsom?
I think it's Xi and Biden. This is Biden coming to meet Xi. This is what this whole thing is. I think Newsom was sort of the, John the Baptist.
He's the host.
Yeah,
he's the host of the event.
The one saying like, he's coming, and then Xi shows up. Observers of China's elite politics have said Xi wants to protect himself to his domestic audience as equal with Biden and as commanding the respect of a U.S. president. The estate has more than 650 acres, including a Georgian revival-style mansion and a formal English Renaissance-style garden. Wonder what that kind of stuff appeals to. The mansion and grounds are open daily, but the site is currently closed for 3 days for holiday decorating, its website said. Is that the cover-up? Like, oh yeah, we're just doing holiday decoration, so we're closed for a few days. Perfect opportunity for Xi and Biden to meet. That's weird. Quote:
what do you think the I don't know, the location, the
focus on the location,
the nearness of, what is this place called again?
It's scrolling back up.
How is it spelled?
Filoli, Filoli. Okay. Yeah.
Do you think it's close to? I mean, it's Northern California. I wonder if it's close to Bohemian Grove.
Oh yeah, that's a good proximity thing there. I mean, it's all Northern California, so it's probably a drive away.
25 miles south of San Francisco. Okay,
yeah,
let me see what I can find.
You can get anywhere, hour, 2 hours, maybe more. I don't know, but yeah, yeah, that would be funny if they actually did meet at Bohemian Grove, like that was their actual thing. Okay, so anyway, they talk about the seclusion here, the obsession with the location, which is interesting. The mainstream media really focusing in on where they're meeting. San Francisco socialite William Bowers, born named Filoli by taking the first 2 letters of keywords of his personal credo, according to the estate's website: fight for a just cause, Love your fellow man. Live a good life. Yeah. Oh, it's so obvious. Filoli, guys. Come on. Fight for a just cause. Love your fellow man. Live a good life.
That makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Looks like Bohemian Grove is located about 25 miles north of San Francisco, and Filoli is
25 miles
about
south.
25 miles
south. A perfect misdirection if they're using the parallel dimension machine or something. Maybe that's it's a bait and switch. You know, everyone's going to run to the Filoli, and meanwhile, they're 25 miles north, not south. Aha.
Clever.
Okay. Well, there you go. We'll see what comes of this. Obviously, the implications are interesting. They're interesting in so many different ways. You obviously have Newsom going for the president play, maybe not this time around, but probably 2028. He's looking at a bid to run for president, so he's playing his, I don't know, cards.
High profile.
Yeah,
doing
definitely
some high profile stuff. And
what's interesting is and this is kind of where, the implications might come in. If Xi and Newsom, under the guidance of Newsom, he'll get some credit. Maybe Biden gets more credit. I don't know. But if they are able to settle some things, to create a smoother relationship, then it would be kind of a brain explosion type of thing for many people. Balaji over on Twitter, he's the guy who wrote about the network state, and he highlighted some interesting things about this whole interaction. He posted on X, why is San Francisco suddenly clean? Why is Xi suddenly in San Francisco? And why is Newsom suddenly smiling with Xi? Perhaps we're about to see the mother of all pivots where Democrats make peace with communists and everyone else is left holding the bag. Which I thought was kind of an interesting analysis. It is that would be the thing to do. Like, oh yeah, you think we're communists? Well, what do you think? We just make a big deal with the communists, and then there's peace with China. What do you think about that?
Yeah,
Basil?
just sort of accepting it.
Yeah,
I mean, both the location of California and Gavin Newsom's reign over California, and Biden coming to visit in a secluded location. I mean, it is all very apparent that there's a very specific message being sent here.
Yeah, it is funny. There was a headline from Xinhua Commentary. I think this is Chinese state. It's like a Chinese state outlet. And this is the English translation here. But the headline here, Xinhua Commentary, welcome more Newsoms to come. More Newsoms, Basil. They like one Newsom. They want two Newsoms.
Okay.
I think it's a translation error. Or we want to think outside the cage a little bit. This was, Gavin Newsom is a Chinese project all along. There's a clone army of Newsoms out there.
It is standard procedure for all new clones to be given tests. Clones? What about the other clones? And
so China is just preparing the West a little bit for more Newsoms. More than one Newsom, anyway.
That makes sense.
More Newsoms to come.
No. I'll buy it.
You're buying? Okay.
The cleaning up of San Francisco was so interesting how it was its own sort of media uproar. I dropped a little link for you if you wanted to grab it right before the next part of the document we have there. Mm-hmm. And it's from the San Francisco Gate, being mirrored on MSN. And it says, Gavin Newsom says it's true that San Francisco got a facelift ahead of APEC, which is a little bit of a
misdirection. It's a misdirection.
Yeah, a little bit of a misdirection of how it actually happened. I mean, of course, they scrubbed from top to bottom San Francisco. People pretty much overnight. People were like, "What the heck happened to this place?" It's all beautiful. It's shiny. And of course, the locals are like, "Wait, you could have done this the whole time,
right?" I mean, I'm sure this
you could have
infuriates people. Yeah,
and Governor Newsom's response was the best. If you go to that link about halfway down, there's a video of his response. Long and short of it is, he says, some people are saying we cleaned up because of China coming. And he says, it's true because it's true.
No, No way. Hold on.
Yeah, you haven't seen this?
No.
Oh my gosh, play the video.
I don't see a video here. I see the quote.
About halfway down. Whoa, yours looks different. Why is yours a dark background? You must have.
Because I like to navigate the web.
See if I can grab
the dark backdrop.
Yeah, let me grab this link
give me
an
X-link.
Here we go. Let me try this one. Oh gosh, it's like hosted on Bing. This is a disaster. Oh no!
I could probably find it if it's
you probably can. Here,
clip.
I'll link it right here. Here's another link that should take you straight to the actual video. Hopefully, I linked it to SF there on the same line on our document. Oh, I cannot believe you didn't see this. This is like
fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true because it's true. But it's also true for months
Play
and
from
months
the beginning.
and months.
Sorry, I talked over a bit of it.
Okay, from the top.
I know folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true because it's true. But it's also true for months and months and months prior to APEC. We've been having different conversations.
We've been having to clean up
San Francisco. Sorry.
Different conversations, okay? I love the attempt at saving it. I don't think he was planning on saying that.
Yeah, it looked like he
seemed like he thought he would be able to kind of wing it with
it's
something.
True. But it's also true because two things could be true at once. You see,
But here's the thing: if it wasn't winged, and that was like the genius response that they were able to come up with beforehand, it's not a good look. You just cleaned up San Francisco. That's how San Franciscans talk. If you didn't know. You just cleaned up San Francisco, this beautiful liberal bastion, because Xi Jinping's coming. It's true. Because it's true, but we also have been having conversations for a couple months, which obviously people also did not find very.
Wait a minute, hold on.
excuse.
Conversations with who? He's saying he's had conversations with people in the city to clean up the city, or people in China. What is he talking about?
That was the impression, but he's also saying for months before APEC, which is the event going on right now. For months before APEC, we've been having conversations. So it's like, months before APEC, I'm sure you were having conversations.
There are conversations
about cleaning up the city. Of course you were, because you want the big fancy leaders to see how clean and wonderful San Francisco is. I mean, look, we've all been there. You're a kid. Your mom has a company coming over. Suddenly, all hell breaks loose. Everybody has to clean super fast. You throw everything under the rug. You throw everything in your closet. For some reason, the guests are going to come inspect your room, your bedroom. So it has to be spick and span, whatever the case may be.
Well, see, Gavin is showing that he is a responsible child, and no, this isn't some last minute cleanup job. Okay, we've been planning.
Talking about it for months.
So that is weird. Whoever is in his ear about that is really bad because, I mean, well, he said it himself.
Doubling down on stupid.
I mean, that's what he's doing right there. He's doubling down on stupid because he's admitting to the accusations, and then he's like, not only did we clean it up, but we planned it for a long time.
You're exactly right. Not only could we clean it up overnight, but we've been talking about how we can clean it up overnight for months, and we didn't do it.
Oh, man. Please export this man to the rest of the country. Please let everybody else feel
just send him to China.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Send him to the promised land. That's where he wants to. Let him run free among the streets of China where he belongs and where he can really sink his teeth into the culture that he loves.
Now, Basil,
all right, Guns.
Before we move on, just real quick, there is a, because X, social media, people share things. And I found this just interesting and thought-provoking. There's a little graphic here, and it says, it's a map of the United States, and it says, divided, a Russian professor prediction of how the U.S. will split. We've talked about the balkanization of the U.S., but not in this particular way that this Russian professor predicts, but it is interesting. So you have the United States is divided into four quadrants.
Yeah.
You got the West Coast, which includes California, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Idaho, Utah, Arizona. So anybody who moved out of California thinking, hey, we're getting out of communism and moved to Idaho, sorry, you're going to be part of the California Republic, which will be part of China or under Chinese influence, which kind of makes sense with this little move here today. And then, of course, from the border there of Idaho, Utah, Arizona, in a line there, if you're looking at the map, the top half, if you cut a line,
well, it's very simple. It's the very simple quadrants. You've got the left coast,
the right coast
borders pretty much Arizona, Utah. Then you've got the south, which
Texas,
include New Mexico, all the way to Florida.
Yeah,
you've got what would be generally called the Midwest, which they sort of falsely include Colorado in this.
Yeah, that's
Colorado,
why. Yeah,
Kansas,
that's what you're saying.
And Missouri on up, and then you've got New England, which is about Virginia, Tennessee, up to the top.
So what's interesting though is the associations here. So that sort of mid country, north half of the country, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, that whole segment all the way to Ohio is going to be part of Canada or under Canadian influence. And then you have the East Coast under the influence of Europe or the European Union.
Well, they call it Atlantic America.
Atlantic America. And then you have the Texas Republic, which is that lower part, which will be part of Mexico or under Mexican influence. Hawaii will go to either Japan or China. So, hey, maybe that's where I'll end up. And then
Alaska goes to Russia.
Goes to Russia, yeah. And then everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know.
The vultures come feast.
Simplistic for
the
me.
vultures come feast upon the carcass of the United States, and this is how it will look, apparently. But, it's just fun to speculate.
Yeah, that's if Americans have to give up all their guns, that's what it's going to look like. If Americans had their way with it, it would be split up into 50 separate states, all ruled by themselves. That would be a great way to do it.
Arguably, like 58 states or something.
Oh yeah, because California gets split up into 3.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Well, what a child's coloring book of analysis by the Russian, I don't know, buffet line stander. Okay, Guns, let's keep moving. We got to remind everybody what day it is.
A lot of Russians on this Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday.
Hey guys, know what day it is? It's Wednesday. It's time for Canary NEWSOM. Yeehaw!
Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday, my dudes.
That's right. If you didn't know, now you know. We told you 3 times. That was fun. We didn't play the day jingle on Monday with Adam Curry.
Yeah.
But he seemed to be looking forward to all of our craziest jingles.
Yeah, I was gonna say that reflecting on that episode, I should have been more aggressive with the jingles. The problem was I didn't want to interrupt him. Number one, I played a couple times, and one of them, I think either you or him stepped on it, so it was kind of like, okay, well, it's just not really happening today.
Yeah. Well, he had checked out the show, and that's what he had a lot of great things to say. He said our jingles are absolutely unhinged, which is really a compliment, if you ask me. And I think next time, which he did request that there would be a next time, which I was very flattered by. I'm thinking maybe we can just do a third chair news talk.
Yeah.
So we can really crank out as many jingles as possible.
That would be it. Yeah, we had the Flippy jingle. I didn't even do the Nephilim update jingle, which
give the Podfather what he wants.
Yeah. Should have been more aggressive with the trigger there, but yeah, I didn't want to spam.
It makes
sound
sense.
effects.
You did the right thing. It would have been weird.
It would have been super weird if it was too
We've
aggressive
never
with that.
really played a bunch of jingles when we had a guest on.
Yeah.
It's a little harder to sort of time it out.
So especially when they're telling a story and they're on a roll. I didn't want to just be like, oh yeah, you mentioned that thing. Hey, check out this jingle, bro. Oh,
play the most jarring possible jingles as they're telling us a life story.
Yeah.
But yes, there you go. If you didn't know, now you know. The Podfather Adam Curry from the No Agenda Show was on the last Monday's episode of Canary Cry News Talk and Canary Cry Radio. It was a big honor. We were very excited. I think it was hilarious. A lot of listeners sent me messages, and they noticed exactly how nervous I was at the beginning of that interview. It's been a long time since I've been nervous before an interview, but I was like, I could hardly catch my breath when I was doing the intro and stuff. And people noticed, which they were very sweet about. It was very fun. But yeah, go check it out. A quick note, there was a whoopsie daisies on the RSS feed for Canary Cry News Talk, just the News Talk feed, where people yesterday were trying to listen to the Podfather episode, and through some strange Shimura household accident.
It's not strange. It is a complete mishap on my part.
Complete mishap, that's okay.
If this was another time, it would be over for me. It would be dishonor. But Basil, I don't think you understand the weight I felt when you called me. You called me. You don't call me ever, but so you called me, and I go, "Oh my gosh, what he's calling? What's going on?" And you mentioned that the whole thing that how one of the feeds is whatever, just you talking or something. Maybe they can really hear you.
Part.
Really hear you struggling.
Was people thought it was going to be an interview with Adam Curry, the Podfather, and it's just me
breathing,
just my track, breathing and talking, and then silence when other people should be talking. I mean, look, I'm flattered, Gons, but I do think we should get Adam Curry in on the Adam Curry episode.
Yeah, well, yes, but yeah, I again, if this was another time, that would have been it.
Well, if you had a boss.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
We get for years we've emailed and tried to get Adam Curry on, just kind of prodding and try to schedule something with him. We finally get him on, and then the RSS feed of the interview with the guy who co-developed the RSS feed.
Right.
I screw up. Yeah. That is unacceptable.
It's only human. You're only human, Gons. It's okay. We all understand. And yes, I mean, I didn't make a big deal about it. I understand the shame that comes from messing something up like that. I've done it. I've done it on different podcasts. But it's okay. But the point is that it's fixed now.
Fixed. Yeah,
it's fixed now. The Canary Cry News Talk RSS feed is fixed. And, maybe you tried to listen to it and it was wrong, so you didn't listen to it. Here's the thing. Just a little tip with RSS feeds. If you started streaming the wrong file, which you would have done if you tried yesterday, you can't just go back to your recently played and try to play it again. You have to go all the way back to the Canary Cry News Talk podcast page and try to play it fresh. Play the file
well,
fresh.
Especially if you have an app that downloads the episodes, then you downloaded the wrong one.
Those are the people who are going to be most confused.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The shame has been... It's all filling me back up again.
Don't worry about it. But if your podcast player downloads the episode and then plays it, you're going to need to delete the file altogether. If you just stream it, like most sane humans, just go click on the file fresh. All right. Enough with tech advice. But here's a couple things. Number one, I want to call on the producers.
Producers, assemble!
I meant to do this. This needed to be done a long time ago. We should have done it on Friday, but Friday was a weird episode too. I apologize for that. But we have the producers. That's you, the unofficial network of producers around the world who pray for the show, pray for the producers for the show. All that kind of stuff. We have a prayer request that's very important here, and this is from producer Jackie. Producer Jackie sends us a note here. We need your help, please. Our dog Cookie had 2 surgeries to remove a tumor. Surgery went well, but some kind of complication post-surgery is happening where she can't turn or lift her head and is in constant pain. We tried steroids, but she is diabetic, so we had to stop and now doing acupuncture. It's only me, Jackie, and Nova, my sister, our mom and Cookie, and we love her so much. Please ask the Canary Cry family to pray for her. We were praying day and even during the night. Every time we woke up for you, Basil, I literally would wake up to drink water and pray for you and Gonzo when you were sick. And he was moving. Oh, I see. So I know the Canary Cry family collective prayers are powerful. It is true. We also prayed for Maya when she was taken. That's right. The producers, very powerful and active force in the Canary Cry family here. So she finishes off with, I need your prayers for my Cookie, please. Doctors are guessing, and I don't want to lose her. Please ask Jesus to heal her. Love you in Christ, your sisters, Jackie and Nova. So everybody put it on the list, write it down in your notes, or just say a prayer right now. We're praying for Cookie, the dog, who is not recovering well so far from her surgeries. Very important dog to the family here. So so put it on the list or do it now. Thank you very much, Jackie. And I apologize for reading this later than expected. But I was praying for Cookie. I will say that over the past few days.
Yeah, and there's a certain kind of supernatural time thing that happens with prayers.
Yes,
too, so.
time traveling prayers. Time traveling prayers, baby. Okay, next up, we have a fun thing, the Canary Cry review drawing. That's right. We've been putting out the notice for, I think, about a month, maybe a little more, that we're trying to get the review process back up and going, catching some momentum on podcast reviews over on Apple Podcasts. So if you had left a review or updated your review, took a screenshot of it, and sent it over to canarycrysupply.com, you are in the running for a drawing for some cool stuff from the supply drop. And the drawing is now. We've done it. Sir Ike, let's roll that tape.
Rolling. Why is there no sound? Anything. I don't hear anything either. What's going on?
Where'd it go?
Hold on.
You played it last time.
I know. Where are you?
It disappeared.
Hey, Canary family. This is Sir Ike here, getting ready to announce the winner of the review giveaway. I have ChatGPT up, ready to give me a random number here, and it is generating. And the winner is Danielle M. Danielle M is the winner. You'll be getting an email here from me shortly. You have won a Canary Cry t-shirt. You have won a New World Order Fantasy Can Koozie, the Canary Cry Mixtape Volume 1, and a couple of stickers, another small thing. Just wanted to congratulate you on that, and look in your email. Have a great day.
Congratulations, Danielle M.
There you go.
Hey, I didn't know that the prize was going to be that loaded.
Pretty
you got
good.
you basically got like an unofficial supply drop for that drawing. You know what I should have done is gone in. I probably could do this real quick and read Danielle M's review. See what kind of review got left here. I don't know. I'll see if I can do that real quick. But what I will do is remind everybody that this is ongoing. This is an ongoing drawing. No purchase necessary. Just go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. Screenshot that review and send it to canarycrysupply@gmail.com. If you've already left a review, you can update your review. That is also helpful for us. And I don't know if this is Danielle M's, but this was a great review, and I want to read it. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's 5 stars. It's from Keep On Keeping On from the United States, and it says, "The Olive Garden of podcasts."
Is that good or? I can't tell if that's good or bad. It's like
it's good. Listen, the Olive Garden of podcasts. It's like having close friends that like to argue over 3 times a week. The community that has grown from this podcast is incredible. Gons and Baz have curated a beautiful space for friends and family to gather, share, support, and pray for one another and discuss current events from a biblical perspective. This show is for true free thinkers that can connect the dots even when they point towards the fringe. If you cry out that the emperor has no clothes on, even when all society and media claim that he does, you might belong here. Welcome home. The Olive Garden of podcasts.
I like it. We got breadsticks
tattoo. We definitely need to we should put some of these testimonials on the website. You know how if you go to an online store or something,
Right.
they'll have like reviews.
Testimonials.
Yeah, just little quotes from customers.
Mhm.
The Olive Garden of podcasts is some great marketing material. So thank you for keeping on. Congratulations to Danielle M for winning the prize this time. That is an ongoing event, people. So go leave a rating and a review at Apple Podcasts or update your previous review and screenshot it, send it to canarycrysupply.drop@gmail.com, get entered into the drawing. I don't know when the next drawing is. Sir Ike is entirely in charge of this, but go get your spot.
The bottomless pit of breadsticks and salads. That is what Olive Garden is known for. I recall now.
What more could you want?
Yeah.
What more could you want? It's when you're there, your family guns. And that's, just something that comes to mind when I hear that is, these breaks, a lot of people get very frustrated with the breaks. They just want constant 3 hours of news analysis, which is exhausting for us, but also, that
it's not good for you.
It's not good for you, and it's not good for us. But these breaks, this is where the community is. This is where, it's almost always the people who are not involved with the community that are the ones getting mad at the breaks. And that's okay. You can live your life however you want. But these breaks are where the Canary Cry family comes together. And we appreciate
And there's
everybody.
There's always little gems in here too. Like you never know if a note sparks conversation or something like that. So there's always value, even though it's people might think or perceive that there isn't any value in these segments, but
true,
always stuff in there. So
true that.
Yep.
I do want to mention real quick, speaking of the ratings and reviews, since Monday, Gons, our ranking in the podcast charts for the United States of America.
Wow.
We've gained about 150 places.
Moving up, baby. We're parabolic bull pump, baby. Let's go. Everything's pumping, including CCNT.
That's exactly what it was. We haven't necessarily seen numbers during the pandemic, 2020, 2021, we were regularly in the top 100 in the United States of America. Since then, it's kind of dropped down. We're kind of hovering around 200. But after Monday's episode, we're back up securely in the top 100 this week. We'll see how long that lasts, but a good reason just to share the show with your friends and family, folks.
You know what they say, build in the bear. Build in the bear.
Build in the bear.
Yeah.
Crypto Gons coming to give you some advice.
It's not crypto.
Not investment advice.
Market.
Review podcast advice.
All right. Are we going to knight somebody? We have some knightings to do.
We need to do this. This is very important. We have 2 people tonight. Again, we meant to do it last episode, but we didn't. But we're going to do it right now. And here's the thing, folks. The Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames is an illustrious group of producers who have produced the show in the amount of $1,000 or more. That could be all at once or over years. And when you believe that you have hit $1,000 or more, send us an email and just say, hey, look at this. You're responsible for your own accounting. We are not counting everybody's producership. So it's, a little bit of the honor system, but send us your accounting and let us know if you've reached $1,000 or more. And we would be happy to give you a seat here at the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames, receive your honorific title that you will henceforth be known in the kingdom of the Canarian, sir or dame or whatever. And we got a couple people coming in. We had producer Jimmy M, who I think earned it last Friday. And we have producer Paul G, who earned it on Monday.
Oh, that's right.
So let's knight them, everybody. Take off your hats in reverence for these amazing producers who keep this show going for $1,000 or more.
Should they kneel? Do it. Should they be on a knee when this happens?
Yeah, the kneeling is optional, but highly recommended.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We get to stand up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
right.
I don't know. My legs hurt today, so
Okay.
but I'll be in a very fancy wheelchair.
I see. Okay. Well, you should get your honorary weapon of choice out.
Here it is. It's my VR sword.
Ooh, sounds very sharp. I have a whole percussion behind it.
All right, we want to call up Paul G and Jimmy M. Please step forward to the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames, where we have a seat for you. Thanks to your generous support in the amount of $1,000 or more, we are proud to pronounce you Sir Rightfoot Joy Wrangler of Wiggle Wagons and Sir Jimmy M, Knight of the Slinging Paintbrush and Spray Sprayer Thingy. Please join us at the Canary Cry Roundtable, where we have the belt of truthful truthiness, breastplate of righteousness, custom fit Birkenstocks to carry forth the gospel of peace, the shield of ferocious faith, the helmet of substantiating salvation, the supernatural sword of the spirit, and of course, adorable samurai babies, infinitely cute kitties for cuddling. And if you're hungry, we have Fancy Feast wet food, carved Cosmo the CRISPR cow, and fried wormicorns. Welcome to the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames, Sir Rightfoot Joy Wrangler of the Wiggle Wagons, and Sir Jimmy M, Knight of the Slinging Paintbrush and Spray Sprayer Thingy. The crowd goes wild.
All right.
Okay, we're going to update the roundtable. If anybody wants to check it out, go to canarycryroundtable.com.
Yeah.
Making that happen. All, take a look at your PayPal account and your whatever. And if you've reached that amount, we'd love to knight you on the show.
Sir Rightfoot Joy Wrangler of Wiggle Wagons.
Oh, he's doing it live, folks.
Doing it live. $6.89.
You get a peek behind the curtain.
And
this is what it sounds like.
Jimmy M.
Updates
Knight.
The website.
I like you commenting or
doing it live.
Play by play of the Slinging Paint.
We will forget.
Brush and spray.
Live.
Sprayer.
And it's happening.
Thingy.
Now, good
6,
form.
8, 9.
There we go.
Save the update and it is complete. It has been done.
Wow. Hey, nobody can accuse us of not being tedious. That's one thing. Nobody can say we are not tedious on this show.
Yeah.
All right. Let's end the break here. But before we do, I'm just going to thank the executive producer. We'll save the rest of the producers for the
executive producers.
That's right. We're on the value for value model, folks. You learned the history of the value for value model and why it is so important in the episode with the Podfather. Go check it out. And here's the thing. It is just a paradigm shift. It is a change not only in our minds, but in our hearts about how we allow media to exist. No longer are we taking money from corporations, commies, or cartels in order to sell your trust and attention for corporate gain. No! We are on the value for value model, which means if you get any value.
The sigh almost gives away sort of the sacrifice being made when it comes to value for value.
What it speaks to, the sigh speaks to how much money we could be making if we were selling advertising. But that's okay. We get to sleep at night.
It's better.
And the executive producer, value for value. If you get value from the show, put some value back in. It doesn't have to be money, although that is also needed. But with your time, your talent, or your treasure, whatever makes sense for you to put value back into the show, that's what it is. That's how this show keeps going. That's how we do 3 times a week. That's how it goes, baby. 11 years now. It's crazy. So go to canarycry.support if you want to learn more. But our executive producers are those who are generously support the show for $100 or more per episode. And we have one executive producer for today's show. Are you ready?
Always ready for the EPs.
That's right. And folks, I bet you can guess who today's executive producer is. That's right. All together now, we have executive producer Sir LX Protocol V2, Knight of the Berean Protocol.
Oh, I almost played the wrong jingle. Here it is.
Oh, cool. Yep, that's right. He supports the show for $100 and 33 cents. Illuminatus. and he has been supporting the show for 234 episodes in a row altogether.
Yeah, Streakalicious.
But this is his 30th episode in a row of being an executive producer. Incredible. Thank you very much, executive producer Sir Alex Protocol V2, now to the brain protocol. So faithful, coming in even when we do the Ireland episode, even when we do the Podfather episode, he is here every single episode. Thank you, Sir Alex Protocol V2, now to the brain protocol.
And I believe producer Jonathan F. has created a executive master shill jingle that is already prepared for Sir Alex Protocol V2. So
good.
Yeah, we got something to look forward to in the next 3 episodes or something.
That's right. He'll be an executive
master shill,
illuminated lizard master shill in just 3 episodes.
Wow, incredible!
All right, guys, what do you say we get on with the show?
One more thing for Alex Protocol.
Where'd you find this?
Okay, now I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. It's time for the Flippy update, folks.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right. It's time for the Flippy update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world, or more, and how there's nothing we can do about it. That's the whole thing, folks. It's okay. We're taking a breath. The robots will be marching soon. But for today, this is coming from Yahoo.com. It's mirrored from space.com. It says here, AIchemist.
Space. Wanna go to space?
AIchemist.
AI!
Artificial intelligence!
Finds molecule to make oxygen on Mars. See, this is why we can't play jingles when there's a guest, because only I have the perfect timing it requires for Gons to throw in jingles whenever he needs. AI chemist finds molecule to make oxygen on Mars after sifting through millions
of molecules?
We don't know. Millions of human bodies? I don't know. Let's find out. Using meteorites from Mars, an AI-powered robot chemist synthesized compounds that could be used to generate oxygen from water. Scientists announced on Monday potential future crewed missions to Mars will need oxygen, not just for astronauts to breathe, okay? Astronauts, it's not just all about you, but also for use as rocket propellant. One key way to make such missions cost-effective in the long run is to use resources that already exist on the red planet to create the oxygen.
No way! What a novel idea!
Uh-huh. I mean, we saw Matt Damon grow potatoes on Mars. That's got to be something.
Oh, yeah.
With his own dookie.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be much easier than lugging a bunch of oxygen and oxygen-producing materials all the way from Earth. The idea is promising, because Mars does possess significant reserves of frozen water ice. Because water is made of hydrogen and oxygen, scientists have been looking for ways to harvest the latter element from those Martian reserves. In particular, compounds known as catalysts are capable of spurring chemical reactions that split water molecules to generate oxygen and hydrogen gas. Funny enough, I actually was just doing my my morning scrolling on the throne, and I happened upon a video that taught me how to make a hydrogen generator from old batteries.
There you
which
go.
looked
Everything
very
has timing.
cool. Apparently, it's extraordinarily easy. I don't know why an AI needed to get involved, but okay.
Well, just be careful. Don't talk about it too much on the air, or else you'll get a knock on the door.
Yeah, all the comments below the video were like, this is a great way to blow your hand off. You shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
In a new study, researchers experimented with an AI chemist to produce some of those water-splitting catalysts. Most importantly, these tests were conducted with materials found on Mars. The team focused on 5 different categories of Martian meteorites, which are rocks that crashed down to Earth after cosmic impacts blasted them off the red planet. Sure.
Yeah, that's convenient. Yeah.
Sure,
it
yeah.
just blew
What a
up there,
convenient story.
and then it was down here.
But here's where Flippy gets involved. The AIchemist used a robot arm to collect samples from the Martian meteorites, then employed a laser to scan the ore. This sounds like a video game. From there, it calculated more than 3.7 million molecules it could make from 6 different metallic elements in the rocks: iron, nickel, manganese, magnesium, aluminum, and calcium. Within 6 weeks, without any human intervention, the AIchemist selected, synthesized, and tested 243 of those different molecules. The best catalysts the robot found could split water at minus 34.6 degrees Fahrenheit, the kind of cold temperature found on none other than Mars. Quote, "When I was a boy, I dreamt of interstellar exploration." Jun Yang, human, co-senior author of the study, and I thought that was the robot.
That's racist, bro. You got to be careful. The boss is in town, man. You got to be careful how you talk about the
boss is in town. So when I finally saw that the catalyst made by the robot could actually produce oxygen by splitting water molecules, I felt like my dream was coming true. I even started to imagine that I, myself, will live on Mars in the future.
Oh, gosh.
You like that, boss man? You like that, boss man? So long story short, folks, the robot AI paired with the robot arm. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, maybe they're new, it's just never quite clicked why the robot arm is the obsession here. And why it's not called the AI update. It's the Flippy update.
Mm-hmm.
It's the robot arm. Because here's the thing. It does not matter how powerful the AI ever becomes or how malevolent the AI feels towards humanity. It does not matter. It is the symbol of the arm, the robotic arm, the manifestation of the will of the AI's ability to manipulate the world around it. That is the true source of fear and power. That's why the robotic arm is the symbol of the downfall of humanity. Everybody right now wants you to be scared of the AI, the brain of the robot. But a brain in a jar is just that. It is longer than 10 men and more dexterous than the elves of Rivendor.
Well, let me point out,
are able to carry out their master plan.
I do want to point out the AIchemist. Now, of course, AI, at least in this font, the I is indistinguishable from a lowercase l. So when it says AIchemist, some might mistake it and read alchemist.
Oh my gosh.
So Flippy, the alchemist.
Cracked the code.
Yeah. This is alchemist
that's
Flippy.
Nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and he's changing substances, you know? He's transforming molecules or one thing into another thing, which is transmutation is part of the alchemist dream. And then at the end, talking, the whole thing at the end about like, it's a dream come true. This is all very spiritual language going on.
You have the AI, the alchemist, that is transmuting iron and calcium and magnesium and nickel, found by the robot arm, into elements that can create a life-sustaining opportunity on another planet. Watch out, folks. It's the beginning of the end. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Flippy Update. I probably need to find an outro tagline to the Flippy Update.
Yeah, there's something.
Maybe that's the thing that's keeping the Flippy Update from its potential of mass attention.
Yeah, maybe.
A good outro.
Good
That'll
outro,
get me where I need to go. Thanks.
Good outro jingle. Didn't we used to have? I think we used to do a little thing to wrap it up.
Yeah, we had an outro jingle.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. All right.
Things happen.
Let's
There's a
move
lot
on.
of jingles in the closet there. Maybe it's buried somewhere. Okay, let's continue on and move on to our next topic, which is what? Oh, politics. That's fun. My least favorite exciting. Actually, you know what? I'll concede. It is getting more exciting out there.
Yeah.
Here we go. Wait. Okay, let's try this again. It's getting more exciting out there.
Poly.
It's Latin for many.
Tick.
Now suck your blood. Now suck
Politics.
your blood.
Okay, so we're just going to talk a little bit about some of the, I don't know, tensions becoming so fervent that...
it's a battle royale gone. The battle royale has begun. This is fun. This is the kind of American politics that we're looking for.
I mean, we're just shy of the actual, the whole trend right now with everybody doing fights, the settling it in the ring kind of attitude. That in politics, I mean, it's over. We're in a whole different thing. I thought I had a Let's Get Ready to Rumble ISO, and I know I have it somewhere.
You do have it somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not exactly finding it at the moment, and I'm afraid to hit some of this stuff. There are files labeled Rumble, but it may not be what I think it is. So, we'll just pass on those. But here we go. This is coming from CBS News. Headline: GOP Senator Mark Wayne Mullin challenges Teamsters President Sean O'Brien to fight at Senate hearing.
Yes.
Hey, listen, I don't pay attention to the Senate that much. I mean, I probably should as a co-host of News Talk, but I don't. I'm not a big politics guy. I know what's going on. I keep tabs of it, but this will get my attention. And the clip, should we play the clip first or should we read about it a little bit? I think reading it for the setup and then I'll play the clip because the quote here at the end is, it just kind of settles itself. So Washington Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullin of Oklahoma challenged the president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters to a physical fight in a tense moment during a Senate hearing on Tuesday. Yeah, what's up, buddy? You want an apple? I don't
needs an
I know
apple.
he needs an apple right at this moment, and I don't have one, but I have this.
Let's see here. Hearing on Tuesday, the confrontation occurred during a hearing on labor unions in the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. Sean O'Brien, the head of one of the nation's largest and most influential unions, was appearing as a witness.
Yeah.
When Mullin got his chance to pose questions to the witness, he referenced a previous hearing in March when he and O'Brien had a heated exchange over Mullin's background as a business owner and O'Brien's salary as union chief.
It's getting a little testy there. Here we go.
That's a sensitive topic.
Let me play the clip here because this is where they had some exchanges on social media, and that's what Senator Mullin is referencing. That escalates the whole situation.
Sir, I wish you was in the truck with me when I was building my plumbing company. Myself and my wife was running the office because I sure remember working pretty hard and long hours. Pretends like he's self-made. What a clown. Fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. So this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution, every poll?
Oh, here we go.
No, sit down.
Fight,
Sit down.
fight.
You're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond? Mr.
Hold it. If we can't, no, I have the mic. I'm sorry.
This is
hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't. This is a hearing.
Oh, I love Bernie just breaking in. Bernie's the peacemaker. Everyone
Let him
settle
rumble,
down.
Bernie, you buzzkill.
I love this.
Hilarious.
As people on social media were pointing out, there's a guy sitting behind Mr. O'Brien. There's a moment the first time the camera cuts to O'Brien on this clip where the guy behind him is like, his eyes are super wide. He's got this grin on his face like, oh yeah, here we go. It's like the perfect, I am stoked. I want to see this happen. Look, everyone kind of has a grin on their face, but I love that guy behind Mr. O'Brien.
Oh, he was ready. He was ready for it. This is hilarious too. Now, of course, the leader of a union of the Teamsters. You know, the Teamsters, that's truck drivers. This is kind of that's a hard group. You know, there's a lot of masculine energy in the Teamsters union. They kind of have a reputation for being a little rough and tumble. You know, not taking no guff, very serious, very fight for your right to party type of group. So it comes as no surprise that the head of the Teamsters union was like ready to go. One thing that not everybody knows is that Senator Markwayne Mullin was a professional MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Not only that, he has a perfect record of 5-0. He has never lost a professional MMA fight.
I don't think you should say stuff like that to a guy like him on social media. Just don't do that.
I mean,
That's
the Teamster union chief was was pestering him.
Yeah, of course.
Online, and that's the thing. You want to talk big to a 5-0 MMA fighter, you're probably going to get a chance to defend yourself. But I loved the quotes from the social media posts, like, you know where to find me, anytime, any place, cowboy.
Oh, this is great. Oh man, I am looking forward to this next year of politics. Actually, I have not looked forward to politics in a long time, but I'm really hoping we're going to see some fireworks, man. It's been really the whole Biden presidency has been very depressing. So let's get some fireworks going. Come on, make things happen.
It's really interesting. There's a lot of conversation about this, and specifically a lot of conversation about how, like, traditionally throughout American history, there have been fights in the sort of part of the legislative branch where a senator, a congressperson, they'll challenge each other to fights. There was a famous caning of a Democrat, Southerner before the Civil War, just beating the daylights out of a Republican Northern representative with his cane. There's a lot of talk about how historically, this sort of content, legislative content, basically led up to the Civil War, which, I don't know. Some people are trying to lean on that a bit. I mean, I don't think it's impossible. I think there's lots of other reasons to think why civil war is possible. It would be unfortunate for the country if that's the case. But we're seeing this a lot. And of course, in sort of the fifth generation warfare angle, this is straight. We used to talk about the idea of kayfabe, which is a professional wrestling term. Kayfabe is basically the concept of like, we all know professional wrestling's quote unquote fake.
Manufactured conflict.
Yeah, we all know this. But kayfabe is the idea of voluntarily buying into the storyline to give the fight some stakes, and people know that it's all manufactured, but they
love it.
Sort of purposefully buy into it, suspend disbelief in order to enjoy the fight.
Yeah,
and we used to sort of metaphorically talk about kayfabe in the government and all these conflicts between politicians, but they are just straight up like this could have been written for a wrestler who is a politician.
Yeah, WWE setup. One guy talks some smack, and then
and then two guys wearing suits enter the ring, and there you go. You got your Thursday night planned. But this isn't the only thing. This isn't the only sort of violence going on with these besuited politicians.
Yeah, there's another one. I still love this guy standing behind. I think this guy behind over the right shoulder of what's his name? What was the guy's name? That Mr. O'Brien. think he's the ultimate orchestrator of this entire process. But anyway, yeah, more going on. We have the LA Times headline here. Kevin McCarthy foe accuses former speaker of, quote, sucker punch elbow in Capitol hallway.
Ooh, sucker punch.
Sucker punch elbow. You know what this reminds me of? Did you ever, you probably are too young to remember Lex Luger. Do you know who Lex Luger is?
No.
All right, I'll look him up. Basically, Lex Luger was a wrestler, an American wrestler. He had like a broken arm or something, and he came back and he had like a metal, like a steel plate in his elbow or something, and so he wasn't ever allowed to do an elbow clothesline on a guy.
Oh,
it was like a rule that he's not allowed to do it because it's whatever. But then he would make a distraction. The referee would look at something else, and then boom, that elbow comes in, and everyone freaks out. Ah, he's got the elbow. Anyway, here we go. Washington, Tennessee rep Tim Burchett. Is that how you say his name? Burchett?
Yeah, Burchett.
Or
Burchett. I'm not sure.
Burchett accused former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, whom he helped oust from the public last month, of elbowing him in a Capitol Hill hallway on Tuesday. So McCarthy's still hanging around, huh? I guess he's
accused.
He's
accused.
I
mean, he's still a senator. He's just not speaker.
Yeah, you just don't expect a guy who was at one time three steps away from the White House to hit you with a sucker punch in the hallway, Burchett said later. McCarthy denied the charge, telling reporters that he, quote, didn't shove or elbow him. It's a tight hallway, end quote. Burchett insisted that McCarthy hit him deliberately, telling reporters that he, quote, can still feel it. Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah, he's,
Quote, it was a clean shot to the kidney, he told reporters. It's like a sports breakdown. Yeah, what's up, bud? Yeah, she's inside. Burchett was back. Burchett's back was to McCarthy and his team when McCarthy shoved Burchett. NPR's Claudia Grisales, who was interviewing Burchett in the Capitol hallway, wrote on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, quote, Burchett lunged towards me. I thought it was a joke. It was not, Grisales wrote. Burchett then yelled, according to Grisales, quote, why'd you elbow me in the back, Kevin? Hey, Kevin, you got any guts? I think we actually have the audio here. Let me play.
Yeah. She finally, this NPR woman has been enjoying some attention over the past few days because she was the reporter there. She had a recorder running, and she finally released the audio. Guns, that link.
No, I got it here. It's ready.
You see it? Okay.
Here we go.
Sorry, Kevin. Didn't mean to elbow. Why'd you elbow me in the back, Kevin?
I know. I felt so bad.
Hey, Kevin, you got any guts? Jerk.
I mean, there's a little bit more. I mean, you could play.
There's a longer version.
Has he done that before?
No.
Huh. That's a new move.
Chases him down.
That's a sound of running, microphone in hand. Oh boy.
Hey, Kevin, why'd you walk by me and elbow me in the back? You got no guts. You did so. They sat there and the reporter said it right there. What kind of chicken move is that? You're pathetic, man. You are so pathetic. What a jerk.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, what a jerk. You're telling me?
All right. I mean, it didn't sound like it was that bad. Come on.
I disagree, Gons.
You think this was
that McCarthy has a metal plate in his elbow, got him right in the kidney. I mean, it's obviously an issue of decorum. And I've listened to quite a few different analyses and descriptions especially from this woman herself, talking about how, the hallway is not a tight hallway. McCarthy.
So McCarthy is making his side of the story.
Apparently, it was a big, wide hallway.
Okay.
So the idea that McCarthy meant to do it, it makes more sense than not.
Yeah, but okay. But is that okay? All right. I'll concede to that. But is it really like I hate you, elbow you, and then walk? Or is it like, I don't know. We have no idea what the relationship is like privately. So.
Well, we do a little bit because
do?
Burchett and McCarthy have sort of traditionally had a contentious relationship. And Burchett was one of the more surprising votes in the ouster of McCarthy.
Right. Okay.
McCarthy kind of thought that Burchett would have his back, and he didn't. Voted him out, and may or may not have played a role in other people making that decision too. So McCarthy has a good reason to be upset at Burchett, especially, and this goes a little bit deeper, because of McCarthy's very awkward and strange rise to the speakership. Turns out, well, the word on the street is that he made a lot of promises, made a lot of promises to a lot of people, got a lot of funding. He's very famous for being a very good fundraiser. And, I think the number was he raised $1 billion for the party or something recently, or maybe altogether. I'm not sure. But he's sort of known for being able to secure funds. And part of securing funds for the party is promising favors for corporations, favors for billionaires. That's how, that's part of why his rise to speakership was so contentious, was because, nobody wanted him to be speaker. He wasn't didn't look like he was going to be a good speaker, politically speaking, but he had so much money behind him and had made so many promises to billionaires and corporations that he was basically forced through. And then after being ousted by Gates, you make a bunch of promises to billionaires and corporations for $1 billion, and suddenly you're cut short. You're not able to deliver on any promises. You're going to start getting a little bit worried when that bill comes due. So, the fact that he got ousted so unceremoniously so soon meant that he wasn't able to fulfill a lot of those promises. And I think what's happening is a lot of billionaires and corporations are trying to get their money back.
Is Lex Luger your dad? I think Lex Luger might be your dad.
My dad?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
I just pull up some pictures, and I'm like, whoa, this is your dad or your clone or something.
Oh yeah, we have the same torso for sure. Glistening, rippling, majestic, sort of Grecian-looking abdominals. That's me.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Last but not least, I want to play the response of Burchett, just so we can give him a chance to tell his story.
The CNN one?
On CNN.
Okay,
yes.
Here we go.
Just play about a minute of it.
What happened with you and Kevin McCarthy?
Well, I was doing an interview with Claudia from NPR, a lovely lady, and when she was asking me a question, and
lovely
at that
lady.
time I got elbowed in the back, and it kind of caught me off guard because it was a clean shot to the kidneys, and I turned back, and there was Kevin, and I for a minute I was kind of, what the heck just happened? And then I chased after him. Of course, he's as I've stated many times, he's a bully with $17 million in a security detail. He's the type of guy that when you're a kid would throw a rock over the fence and run home and hide behind his mama's skirt. And he just, he from behind, that kind of stuff.
Fight!
That's not the way we handle things in East Tennessee. If we have a problem with somebody, I'm going to look them in the eye and talk to them.
Okay, so he walked down the hallway.
There we go. You can stop it there. We just had to give Burchett a chance, man, to sling some fiery arrows towards McCarthy.
Okay, well, I don't know.
With the security detail.
Let's make it happen. Somebody organize the fight. Let's go. Politics. Well,
that's what I'm saying. That's what everybody's saying. Now, dueling used to be a sort of regular part of American politics. Of course, sort of made famous recently by the Hamilton play. But dueling, that used to be a thing, man. I mean, if you had a problem with somebody, your honor was questioned. You step outside, you each get a bullet, and it was sort of understood that the process was really just to keep your honor. And so there's kind of an understanding that you would do a duel, you'd both go outside, everybody would gather around, you'd each get a bullet, and then you sort of purposefully miss, and then you both kind of maintain your honor, and you're okay,
unless you're a jerk.
Next time.
Unless you're a jerk, then you actually do shoot the other one, and then you win. So,
and that's the Hamilton story. That's why that was such a big part of the play. Was Hamilton's duel with I forget what his name was. That was like one of the first or only ones that somebody actually shot and killed their opponent. So, anywho, I don't know, man. I could see trial by combat coming back. You know, we don't have to sink that much further towards the apocalypse to get trial. Or, you know, they're senators, so maybe it's like they don't go to battle. They find some, you know, working class kids to fight for them.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's usually how they settle their international conflicts.
I think they should be 360 scanned, you know, to the molecule, to the quantum levels, just scan their whole body and everything, and then throw them into the metaverse, give them a haptic suit that's, you know, fully one-to-one, and just robo battles in the metaverse, man. And then, you know, your actual body will be preserved. Nobody actually dies.
What's the fun in that, Gons?
That's the question, though.
We need blood.
You got these old folks,
blood.
older folks.
The crowd craves blood. Give them what they need.
If somebody actually dies in the metaverse, in terms of in the real fleshverse, because of a heart attack or something, because of something that happened in the metaverse, then we're gonna have all kinds of laws about heart monitoring. You got to have the conflict first to have the laws. So you gotta
give them an exoskeleton. I need some real robo battles. That's what I need.
Man, it certainly is seeming like it's moving in that direction. I hope we see it in our lifetime. Something along those lines.
We will. We will.
You know, there's a guy who's putting together a fight circuit, but it's just for crypto influencers. So he's doing a whole thing in Vegas too. It's like a big production where they got these guys that have beefs, you know, public beefs with each other and crypto influencer crew or whatever.
Sure.
And they're actually going to fight. So it's not out of the question in terms of the future of politics and this type of a thing to settle an issue.
The Zuckerberg-Elon fight sort of has gotten fired up.
But how is where's? I mean, I suppose there is a value in sort of this dual thing, but also doesn't it kind of kill the whole idea of a democratic society or some philosophical ideal of that? Because
rules-based order.
But it's who cares? The people aren't. Their voices will not be heard or considered if their representatives, quote unquote, are just in a cage match or something. I don't know. Anyway,
Gons, you're asking too many questions. We don't care. We just want blood. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. Speaking of which, let's hop over and talk about some fifth generational warfare. Fifth gen warfare.
They're targeting you.
Fifth gen warfare.
Fifth generation warfare, the battle for the minds of the population, a war of narratives.
Ooh, that's right. You know, this happened last week. We just happened to not have a regular episode since the story, but I thought it was an important one to put on the record, Gons. And this story is all over the place, but I'm going to take it from MSN.com. It's mirroring from the Messenger because, man, oh man, did they not mince words. The headline: fired CNN journalist accused of ties to Hamas on October 7th posted video riding a motorbike with grenade-wielding man. Whoa!
Wow, there's a lot going on there.
The Palestinian photojournalist fired over his alleged ties to Hamas terror group apparently recorded a video that showed him riding a motorcycle with a man waving a hand grenade. The 35-second clip appears to show Hassan Eslaya riding behind a driver and another passenger. So he was third chair on this motorbike. You know he's close to whoever's holding that grenade. Passenger as the bike sped along a narrow desert road, dodging pedestrians and motorcycles. The camera panned from side to side as someone shouted in Arabic, and it twice captured what looked like a hand grenade in the left hand of the man behind the driver. Okay, so you got this guy. Let me summarize a lot of it for you. We don't need to read the whole thing because I've read about a dozen articles about it now. I feel confident I can summarize it. So there's this fella Hassan. Long story short, this fella was maybe the very first person to have sold images of the October 7th attack on Israel by Hamas. By some estimates, CNN and Reuters and AP had images from this man as early as 45 minutes after the attack started. So, if you're a news corporation, you hear something going on, you want pictures because that's how you get the clicks, that's how you make money. So this guy who he's a freelancer, okay? That's where a lot of this reporting goes wrong. He was not an employee of CNN, but he's a freelance photojournalist, which means he had previously sold, photos and stories to American outlets like MSN, Reuters, AP, not MSN, CNN. And so he was sort of a known quantity. Well, 45 minutes after the attack, man, he has pictures. Let's go. Give him the money. Give him the money. We need the pictures. And so that's what we saw at the beginning of the attack, were pictures of the attack by this guy. Now, it's a little strange. Some strange things started bubbling up, and that included pictures of this guy, sort of a mix between photos on his Twitter, photos that he had previously, his social media presence. One of them included a picture of him taking a selfie with a burning Israeli tank on October 7th. So, you imagine a freelance photojournalist, the real daredevils, they're on the battlefield, they're running around, they're taking pictures. This one, who knows if it's in poor taste or not, but he took a traditional selfie with a burning Israeli tank.
It is as poor as taste can get.
Yeah, and he didn't sell this picture. This one was just for his Twitter. But that's not all. Turns out that pictures also surfaced in the next link here, not only of the video of him riding on third chair on a Hamas motorcycle whilst the guy in front of him had a hand grenade. That's a little suspicious. But the most suspicious like a hand grenade. Of all,
we don't know.
Was this selfie of the photojournalist taking a selfie, a big smile on his face. And who's that next to him? That's the leader of Hamas. Kissing him on the cheek.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of kissing going on. We have people in here who like to kiss their people.
Well, especially in the Middle East, men kissing each other on the cheek, this is a very common thing. Mm-hmm. It's not flippantly done. It means a lot. It's not. Of course,
no, it means a lot to people here too.
Run around kissing people on the cheek.
No, Cuomo
you kiss
does.
People on the cheek that it's like the biblical kiss.
Yeah. Well, that could be it could be the kiss of death too.
You kiss the one on the cheek that you love very much in a masculine, respectful manner. And here he is being kissed on the cheek by the leader of Hamas. So this obviously raised some questions. Mm-hmm. The story is that this fella may have been or was or something embedded with Hamas, that he would have embedded himself in with Hamas, with the excuse or the claim
Project
that
Veritas style, guys. Project Veritas style. He was in there for intel.
Right, that he embedded himself with Hamas in order to get good photos to sell to American news agencies.
It actually is, if you think about it, the business, what is this? The supply chain or sort of the circular economy here makes sense, because if you tell a guy, he's a freelancer, like, hey, go in there, make friends, everybody benefits. You make money. You get to hang out with all those crazy people, but you make money from selling photos to us. We get the story, we get the images that helps us shape the narrative over here, and everybody wins. So it kind of makes sense in an economic vacuum.
Exactly. Well, in the sort of free market, it would make sense. But here's the problem. If this person really, identifies himself so closely with Hamas, No, I mean, there's some very fine lines we're working here.
Yeah.
Is this guy actually Hamas? Is he, or, how do you get so close to Hamas? Why would the leader of Hamas give you a kiss on the cheek if you were just some guy? He has to trust you. He has to love you. You have to be pretty dang close to Hamas.
This is like
get a picture like this.
There's a lot of espionage movies and stuff. I can't think of names off the top of my head, but they wrestle with this kind of issue where, like, if you're undercover and sort of the psychological pressures and whose side are you really on, and you start to sympathize and all that kind of stuff. It's just funny how they're literally using that sort of narrative or plot line and just sort of laying it out in the mainstream is like, yeah, debate amongst yourselves. Like here's something you guys can talk about.
There's been a narrative pushed here.
Yeah,
so this was kind of uncovered by an outlet called Honest Media. Or what is it called? Honest News? Oh, no.
What are you talking about? Which one are you talking about? The picture of the...
So the story. The story was sort of uncovered by a sort of small outlet that used to be called, Middle East News or something like that. Now they're called Honest News. And when it was called Middle East News, it was sort of a small company who's devoted to, they were sort of a watchdog group for the media to uncover anti-Israeli bias. So the source of this sort of journalism, this information coming out, is very specifically pro-Israel, which a lot of people are taking account for.
Interesting. Yeah, that is interesting.
But but then what was so strange was that this Honest Media company went straight to the narrative that, hey, if this guy works for CNN, CNN must have known about the attack. Why would CNN send their employee to the border at that exact time if CNN didn't know the attack was going to happen?
Yeah, this is the ongoing sort of not hijacking, but the sort of baton handing off from your typical sort of like people waking up to how the mainstream media is not telling you the truth, to all of a sudden, you have paid attention the last few weeks, the sort of bearers of truth have become the pro-Israel people. They're the ones that are attacking CNN and attacking the news outlets for fake news and misinformation and all that kind of stuff, which was sort of the calling cry of the truther sort of movement in the last few years. So I see that as very similar, or at least the ongoing pattern, so to speak, of pro-Israel folks attacking traditional mainstream media. It seems to have been
right. And so this is where the narrative kind of breaks down for me. So sorry, the name of the group is Honest Reporting.
Okay.
Honest Reporting is the name of the group. And they went straight to, CNN and Reuters and AP, they must have known about the attack.
Have known. Yeah, they're complicit with Hamas. Yeah.
Knew about they knew it was going to happen, and they sent a reporter. And I think that's I don't quite think that the evidence points all the way there. Mm-hmm. I don't personally think CNN knew about the attack, but what we do have happening here is this guy is obviously very close to Hamas. He's taking pictures that his proximity to Hamas allows, and perhaps if he's that close, is Hamas actually controlling what he is allowed to share and not share? And this is where the fifth generation warfare comes in. First, there is the topic of CNN and Reuters and AP literally funding Hamas. If this guy is so close, they are paying a Hamas member for pictures of the attack because he was there on the day of the attack. And that's a little bit troubling just on its face.
But again, this is them trying to, maybe this is mainstream trying to be like Project Veritas, sending them boots on the ground. Maybe that'll be their excuse.
Yeah. But I mean, there's this big conversation about bringing aid to Gaza, to the civilians, and it's difficult because Hamas takes everything. Everything we send gets taken by Hamas. And do we have any reason to believe that the money that was paid by CNN to this man was not also taken by Hamas to do Hamas stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's one aspect of it.
Yeah.
but the other aspect, the other even sort of more troubling to me is that the pictures that were shown to the American people, forget about the money for a second. The pictures themselves were facilitated by Hamas. And you talk about fifth generational warfare, the fight for the mind of civilians, the civilian mind is the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
And if the pictures we were all shown were purposefully put out by Hamas because that's what they wanted the American people to see, I mean, you have straight up fifth generational warfare being conducted by Hamas on hundreds of millions, if not 1 billion people who came in contact with those first reports. I mean, this is where the topic of fifth generational warfare, sort of the rubber hits the road a bit, because we're so used to China and the U.S. fighting for the minds of the people around the world. But remember, one of the core parts of the definition of fifth generational warfare is that it's not just fought by nation states. You get the idea of the network states. You get the idea of corporations fighting this war. And in this case, Hamas, you have a terrorist organization, or if you're on the other side, freedom fighters, whatever. You have this non-state, non-corporate entity participating in the fifth generational warfare. And it's an example of how so much of what is done to fight for the minds of people is not just a matter of state security or of corporate interest, but also of ideological interest. This is the ideological part of the fifth generation war that's going on now, and people don't even know it. I mean, even when the reports are coming out about how these pictures came to be, they're so focused on jabbing at CNN for knowing about the attack, which I don't have a reason to believe that they did. But this guy, a freelancer, it makes the most sense that he, on behalf of Hamas, put out the pictures that Hamas wanted the world to see and fight that war for them. So now you don't just have nation states, you don't just have corporations, but you also have ideological states jumping in the ring, fighting literally in the battlefield of the minds of the U.S. And boy, oh boy, has it been effective. We've seen crowds of hundreds of thousands on both sides, both for Palestinians and Israel, and full circle. The minds of the American people have been weaponized against themselves. And, this one little detail of this one little guy having such an effect on the sort of strategy of an ideological force, I think is being completely missed by what you could argue, honest reporting, is another ideological force fighting for the mindset about Israel, presenting that narrative in the way that they did. But take a step back and it seems even bigger.
Yeah, this seems to be the I don't know, this how the Hamas-Israel thing has unfolded truly appears to be the precipice of the network state era, so to speak, where the nation states, they're still there, but they're going to have to mobilize in a certain way to participate in the formation and the territorial lines that are to be conquered, or properties that are to be conquered, I guess.
Right.
And when I say property, even the idea of property is changing. There's digital property, there's psychological property, privacy. These, the mind itself is becoming somewhat considered a commodity, in a sense, that can be owned and moved and conquered and all that kind of stuff, which goes into the Revelation 18 thing. But the Hamas being something that is not just born out of a vacuum, right? This was, who knows how much intelligence.
Arguably it was created by Mossad, but.
Well, Mossad,
In the same way that we created Al Qaeda.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it is a product of our own making, and the argument between the spectrum of conspiracy theorist to towing the line type of PC, whatever, just swallow the narrative guy is how much of, the involvement of the intelligence agencies is responsible for groups like this to actually exist. But in a sense, this is how warfare is done now, in a sense. And you're talking about 5th generation warfare, but just the way traditional forms of violence has evolved into, hey, we just need to get certain images out to people.
Right.
We just need to get the images in front of them. And then we just know that a certain portion of the population will mobilize the way we want them to. And it's just a very cut and dry kind of thing. But it's interesting that, people like us, we're trying to analyze it from, and, I studied sociology in college. So everything that I look at, I studied it pretty hard towards the end there. I was trying to get my degree. But, you start looking at things from a societal perspective and you analyze things a little differently. You're able to step out of things or whatever. And I think that's what we do here. But yeah, the focus, I think not the main point, but a great point you made there, Basil, is how as everything was unfolding, the thing that the mainstream news outlets were being accused of was, oh, you're only taking the Hamas source and reporting it first. That was like the big accusation. Like, oh, you got that from Hamas. The big
accusation was that they knew about it beforehand.
Well, that's the accusation now. Like now that this story has come out. But again, it's just interesting how, does it make a difference? That doesn't even matter. It's almost like nitpicking on things of like this guy and making that the story rather than like the actual psyop itself of the images itself.
Well, that's the purpose of terrorism. The purpose of terrorism is to terrorize.
Yeah.
So, getting the image of the terror that you have struck is in the best interest of a terrorist. And so,
does that mean like exactly horror films and stuff? Would that be considered a form of terrorism, like a psychological terrorism? Or
yeah, it could be if somebody has a political reason for doing it.
There you go. All right. Well, I think we should thank some producers. We have some producers of treasure that we need to thank, as well as talent. So let's get on with that.
Do we have any speak pipes?
I don't think we do, actually.
Okay.
Just let me double check that. Maybe something came in recently.
Yeah, no worries. Remember, people, you can go to canarycrynewstalk.com. You'll see a green tab on the bottom or the right-hand side. Click on that. You can leave us a 90-second message. Say whatever you want. Give some shout-outs. Ask some questions. Whatever you want. It's there for you.
Yep. And thank you to Joe for the ongoing reflections of the episodes. We appreciate those.
Well, we could throw that out. I mean, just in case anybody wanted to. We have a producer, Joe, who does a great job of giving us multiple messages after every episode, kind of giving us a breakdown about the episode, like what worked, what didn't work. Give us a little bit of a private reflection on how we did.
It's like a coach in a post-game locker room talk.
Yeah,
kind of deal. Yeah.
And some of it we keep in mind, some of it we wait for confirmation, things like that. But no, it's very helpful. So remember, you could do that too, folks. Remember, if you're leaving that message and you don't want it played on air, say so at the beginning of the message. Okay.
There you go. All right.
Well, we got just a short list of producers today who came in to support the show with their treasure by going to canarycry.support through the value for value model. These are people who got value. They're putting value back in. Oh my goodness. Let's thank them.
Value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
That's right. Here's just a couple people who supported the show today, starting with Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Panda.
Sir Darren
comes in with $16.50. That's for episode 165.
Ah, very good.
Yeah. Of CCR, which was Monday's episode with Adam Curry. Thank you very much, Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Panda.
Awesome.
I saw Sir Darren throwing around the idea of doing the Canary Cry fan cast. I don't know.
Ooh.
We'll see if he does it. Sir Darren, I put it in the chat. I would trust Sir Darren
to
do the Canary Cry fan cast. So you get an automatic audience, folks.
It's true.
It's a good way to start if you've been thinking about doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got producer Kim Rose. Kim Rose coming in. Yeah, signing up for $11.11 per month.
11. Thank you, Kim Rose.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kim Rose. Glad to have you signed on to help support the show. Next up, we got Doctor Who Done Dat, $7.77.
Doctor Who Done Dat.
Yeah, he's been supporting the show for 28 episodes in a row.
Ooh. Awesome.
And he has a quick little note here. It says, Happy Hump Day, you lovely Canarians and any wayfarers in the strange land of CCNT. Oh, yes, we have a lot of wayfarers today.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the show. Hope you like it. Just requesting some prayer for the church I attend. Vision, protection, and the raising up of leaders. Peace and blessings, y'all. Peace and blessings to you, Doctor.
Yeah. Who done that?
Oh, there's a kitty walking around here. We got a little kitty.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Hold your fur.
Jumps up here.
We're gonna call upon the producers for Doctor Who Done That here.
Producers, assemble!
Actually, can we extend that prayer to any church that's going through stuff and transitions and everything else? Because my local church that I was at, our pastor just retired. Oh boy, big cat.
Here's a kitty, the producer cat.
The producer cat.
Producer cat is here to pray for all the churches.
Excellent. Great for the listeners. We need a hairball in your throat to know that you actually have a cat in front of you.
Oh, he'll start purring here in a second. We'll get him on tape.
Great. Okay, who's next? Can you operate with a cat in your lap?
777 or more.
Okay.
Which entitles them to have a note read on the show. Short list today. We got the people who came in under 777. We'll just read their names and thank them for their streak. Starting with Malik W. on a 39 episode streak.
Malik W. Thank you.
Veronica D. 328.
Thank you, Veronica D.
Sir Morv, Night of the Burning Chariots 298.
Sir Morv.
Sir Scott, Night of Truth 352.
Sir Scott.
Dame Gale, Canary Whisperer, and Lady of X's and O's 323.
Dame Gale.
And last but not least, Sir Casey the Shield Knight.
Sir Casey the Shield Knight.
How many in a row?
Yeah. He is on a 368 episode streak.
Oh yeah, streakalicious.
That's mind blowing. It's both mind blowing that he's been on a streak for that long, but also I'm thinking, man, we've done a lot of episodes. Like I'm looking at the numbers, they keep going up. That's how numbers work. But yeah, every once in a while I'm like, whoa, we are way into the hundreds there.
368. That's over 2 years of supporting every single episode.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Just a quick holler. Check your email, folks, for an email from canarycryradio@gmail.com. I sent out some last-minute emails to some people who needed some emails regarding their T-shirt council or their supply drop. Go take a look at that. Let me know what you think of it, because we will be finalizing lists here in a day or two. The printing of the supply drop stuff has already started, so get going. I see somebody mention that in the chat. Grandpa Bear, go ahead. Email me later when you get a chance. Great.
All right. Sounds good. All right, let's thank some producers for their talent. Those are producers coming in who want to help shape the culture behind the community here at Canary Cry News Talk. And there are many ways you can do it. One of the ways we highlight is through any kind of audio production, jingles, music, ISOs. So we'll start there.
Audio production.
And we have a trio of jingles coming in from Jonathan F.
Jonathan F.
He kicked it off with the Illuminated Master Shill Executive Streak jingle.
Nice.
It's pretty good. It's
That's
ready.
great.
It's in the queue. There you go. Thank you for that.
I wouldn't mind if the vocal tracks were boosted a little bit.
That seems to be a recurring theme with some of this, but yeah.
Yeah, I got to pump those vocal tracks so people can hear them and understand them. But great job. I love it. It's got the energy, baby.
I know. We also this is a note from Jonathan F. Just wanted to make a small song with one of the segments talking about voice to skull tech. You guys had receipts on from 2007.
Yeah.
Oh, enjoy and God bless. Where is it? Here it is.
Some very cool stuff in the caves.
We brought a PlayStation from the future. PlayStation 666. Death Ray Ripfire, which transmits a searchlight-sized beam of energy. Fire. Voice of God.
I solved the riddle. Now go get it. Very cool stuff in the caves.
And in 2007, they published this article, Weapons, Death Ray replaced by the Voice of God, while U.S. efforts to deploy its microwave active denial system, which transmits a searchlight-sized beam of energy. Death Ray makes people downrange feel like their skin is on fire, okay?
I solved our riddle. Now go get it.
You solved our riddle. Now go get it.
You know, I realized also that in a way, we are also voice to skull technology here at Canary Cry News Talk. Every podcast is voice to skull technology.
Yeah. I mean,
if you are listening,
just speaking to somebody is technically voice to skull. It's just got some intermediary parts there.
Different mediums of exchange happening. Okay. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Oh, he's got one more, or did I play all three? No, one more. And I think this was just a redo, a fixing of the Ukraine financial support mini song, which is 23 seconds long.
Financial support, okay, please. Okay, please. Financial support, okay. Financial, you can't give us some financial support, okay. Okay, please. Give us a credit, and we will give you back money.
Still love that. I still love Zelensky begging for money. I think that, you know, my top three for the year, that's got to be in there. It's
so sad.
It is sad. All right. Thank you very much, Jonathan F. Appreciate that. Do you have any jingles or audio that you would like to send in? Anybody listening out there, you can go to canarycry.art to do that. And you can also send in visual art.
One art, please.
And we have one visual art piece today from Sir Dove, Knight of Respeltia.
One art piece from Dove.
He has a note here that reads, "Piece for this week's Bible artwork. I did an illustration for Proverbs 17:27. Whoever restrains his words has knowledge, and he who has a cool spirit is a man of understanding." Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for yins.
This is great. As usual, we've got a background image of behind a row of houses, kind of an alleyway type place. And up in the sky, it says a man with a cool spirit is a, what does it say?
Sorry, I'm muted over here. Whoever restrains his words has knowledge, and he who has a cool spirit is a man of understanding.
Ah, man, a man of understanding. That's what it says. See, I'm just not as cool as Sir Dove, who is able to write in this very cool font, which my tiny little brain, who reads a computer screen all day, has a hard time switching into a creative mode of reading. But there it is. And down at the bottom, hanging out in this cool alleyway, we got a very cool raccoon. Very cool little cartoon raccoon. You know he's cool because he's leaning up against the fence. He's crossing his arms, and he's got some very cool shades on.
Yeah, I had to zoom in to see what it says on the shades. It says Holy Spirit.
That's right. He's got his Holy Spirit shades on. Very cool. Thank you very much, Sir Dove.
Yep,
I mean, speaking of people who've been producing for hundreds of episodes,
that's
Sir
true,
Dove is definitely on that list.
Yeah. We talked about giving out streaks to other producers than Treasure, but we'll get there.
All right. He's already a Sir Dove.
I know, but I'm saying just, you
mean streaks.
Memorialize a streak. This is his 400th episode with art or something.
I hear you.
We should let people know about that. So, okay, There you go. Thank you very much to all the artists and musicians who have come in. We also have a couple microfiction today.
Microfiction.
Time.
Microfiction.
Runk Smash has one.
When you were just a baby, the world was given over to the hive, but your father had been warning the world about their schemes. So they came and rounded us up first. They tried forcing us to love our 15-minute prison, but he found us a way out. That is Gonz's widow telling the little baby samurais how their father had played a role in the end. Thank you very much, Runk Smash.
Thank you, Runk Smash. Appreciate it. We also have one today from Stefan S.
Captain, the radar's picking up unidentified flying objects at slow speeds approaching the Peace Music Festival. Don't sweat it. There's a NOTAM for a drone demonstration scheduled for today, the officer calmly assured.
That's probably how it went down.
What is a NOTAM? N-O-T-A-M.
Oh, I forget what it was. I can look it up.
Gonna look it up. What does NOTAM stand for? It's probably something to do. A notice to airmen.
Ah, there it is.
Notice to airmen.
Mm-hmm.
Notice to airmen. Notice to air missions is a notice filed with an aviation authority to alert aircraft pilots. That would make sense, actually, because, yeah, a bunch of paragliders would show up on some radar.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was some sort of notice given by some sneaky person, that would cause people to ignore it. Very interesting.
You know, it's funny.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we have some. There's like a little place out here where I moved where they have you can paraglide, fly up there and then come down. So if we're out and about, sometimes you look up and there's like a row of people in paragliders. And recently I've heard some people respond rather interestingly to such visuals. Is all I'll say.
Are they cheering?
No, there was just a couple weeks ago, there was somebody, I overheard somebody say something about the whole Palestine-Israel thing. And he wasn't afraid, it wasn't anything serious, but we saw the people perish sailing down or whatever. And,
just made a comment.
Just made a comment about like, I hope that's not terrorists or, the whole kind of thing.
Bad taste.
Yeah.
Anyway. Good try. Nice try.
Nice try. Yeah. Earmuffs for the kids in those situations. But there you go. Yes. Thank you for all the artists. You can go to canarycry.art and submit some artwork. There's a whole process there. So do that.
Go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It'll upload to our spreadsheet so we can actually find your art and put it on the show. And if you have any articles you'd like us to take a look at to cover on the show, go ahead and go to canarycry.report. That'll put it on our list to take a look at as well. Thank you to everybody putting value back into the show. We couldn't do it without you. And Gons, it might be time.
Mm-hmm.
It might be time for some cooler heads to prevail.
That was a long pause. I was about to say just a real quick thank you to Sir Ike for sending in some links. I think we'll just start thanking the producers who come in with their links and articles and stuff right here when we talk about it. So, all right, there you go. Let's get cold, baby.
So a new discovery. Antarctica.
In the bottom of our planet. Advanced Antarctica. Climate crisis.
Penguins.
Antarctica, go first. Snowstorm. Antarctica. Ice scientists are penguins.
Antarctica, they're opening the abyss.
Russia. Russia and Antarctica. Finally, we have
Could you?
a
You
story.
couldn't find the jingle, could you?
No, I could not. I realized I'm like, oh, I got to put the Russia jingle right there. So I started looking, and time ran out. I'm still scrolling and looking, and time ran out. So I was like, all right, just it's not a hard one to do. So
We're doing it live, folks.
oh, here we go.
Doing it live.
Here we go. Let's see.
Russia, Russia, Russia.
There it is. All right. Newsweek. So you know it's legit. Headline: Putin's Antarctica ice question perplexes officials. Video.
Officials.
I love Putin perplexing officials. This is great. Vladimir Putin was met with blank looks during a meeting when he asked questions about the age of an ice core that was discovered by Russian scientists in Antarctica. A video showed in the latest of the president's bizarre tangents. Alexander Kozlov, Russia's Minister of Natural Resources and Environment, briefed the Russian president in a video link meeting on Wednesday. This was last Wednesday. He said scientists in Antarctica last year found the ice core, which is believed to be about 1.2 million years old, at a depth of just over 2 miles. The conversation marks the latest in a string of Putin's recent ramblings, or episodes, where the Russian president has appeared to be confused.
Uh-huh.
The video showed Kozlov tell Putin that the ice core is being studied by glaciologists, chemists, perhaps AIchemists, and climatologists, and the findings are expected to help understand how Earth's climate was formed. And then they show the tweet in Russian, which I thought was kind of interesting for Newsweek to be like, yeah, look at this Russian post. And of course, it's linked to the video, so you can see the video there. And do you want to do the quotes here, since you are the master Russian accent man?
So we can really get a feel for what Putin's questions were like.
The Russians?
Yeah.
If this core is 101.2 million years old, what does that mean? There was an ice at this place for 1.2 million years? Putin asked Kozlov. After he asked Kozlov about the age of the ice core, other attendees of the meeting appeared to look at Putin with blank expressions. Yes, Vladimir Rokovich. That's absolutely right, Kozlov replied. I cannot believe I got Vladimir Rokovich. I can't even do it the second time. I got it the first time. Or maybe the water froze later, not 1.2 million years ago, but closer to us. Could this happen? Putin asked again. Vladimir Vladimirovich, this is atmospheric ice. Science says so far that this is still the case, as I answered you the first time. The seemingly bemused minister replied. Okay, fine. The Russian president responded and moved on to another topic.
Why is this a story?
Okay, fine.
Oh, man, this is great. I love this.
Wait, so you're saying this ice is 1.2 million years old. Does that mean that it froze 1.2 million years ago, or perhaps it froze sooner? What, Putin? What exactly? I think Putin's on to the Antarctica thing. I think Putin, he knows the elite secret information. Antarctica.
Yeah, and he's trolling right here. He's trolling. He knows what's going on down there, and he's starting to troll.
I think he forgot for a second. He's like, what do you mean? Our scientists think that Antarctica is 1.2 million years old? I know because of my communication with the aliens and the illuminated master shills that Antarctica froze in 1948. I know that. That's why I'm president, and you're not. But you, a scientist, are telling me that it's 1.2 million years
old.
old.
There's a Russian document from 1917 that showed that Antarctica was still wet and that they planned to freeze it in 1948.
That's right. I think that Putin knows the truth, and I think he's sort of like laughing at the We love to report the actual words of Antarctic scientists, because the actual Antarctic scientists say things that are never actually reported by the media. They will have scientists on the American continent talk about how Antarctica is, experiencing global warming and it's super hot down there and this is strange. We need to stop driving cars. And the literal Antarctic scientists in Antarctica will be like, no, it's not like that at all.
Please stop.
Will somebody please just quote our words about Antarctica? I think this is a case of that just in Russia. Putin knows the truth, and he is sort of dismayed that the Russian scientists are propagating this World Economic Forum propaganda.
So he's calling out the woke, the woke
Antarctica,
Antarctica agenda. Interesting. That's a good take. I like that.
If anybody ever thought that we were Putin's puppet, I want to know what they think now.
Well, I'm wondering also why. I mean, it's still why. Is this just another Putin hit piece? They needed something.
Later on, this is hilarious because later on they talk about another incident. It says, in another incident in July, Putin was quoted in a Kremlin transcript asking a Russian governor to pass on his regards to soldiers who had been killed in the war in Ukraine. So people are like, oh, he's crazy. He's trying to say, send my regards to the dead people. But maybe he knows something's up. Maybe a lot of these soldiers killed in Ukraine, might not be in the condition. Oh, the cat is fully in the camera now. Thank you, Kitty.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Putin knows that, the kill count isn't quite what we've been told. I don't know. I'm just saying, if we're assuming that Putin is not crazy, he sure is lining up with some, he's seeding some doubts here.
Very interesting. Yeah. What was Russia? Weren't they trying to get a boat, like a science boat out there and set up shop? They already have some stuff, but I thought there was a recent story. Maybe I was China.
They're trying to set up. They're trying to set up some mining along with China.
Right. Yeah, it's all a play. I'm sure for some kind of geographical, I don't know, stakes or something. But hey, we'll keep an eye on it. All the nations, or at least nation states now, are getting involved with the Antarctica thing, and in one way or another, right? And it seems like everyone knows something is up. It's just not time yet, Basil. It's just not time. We need a little more
Putin
melt.
Almost slipped.
Maybe, yeah. We need a little more melting. Slipped. And you'll get the whole climate change lockdown thing will be hand in hand with Antarctica distribution of property rights of Antarctica to the elite.
President Putin, our scientists are of top quality, not like those bottom of the bin American scientists. This ice is 1.2 million years old. And Putin's just like, sure. Sure, whatever you say, Dmitry. I
love how he says like how the water wasn't it frozen closer to our time. It's just it's a weird, interesting. Okay. Just to wrap things up here, because I don't know.
Wrap it up, baby.
Trying to wrap it up. Couple memes for you, Basil. We used to have a meme jingle.
I
don't know if I can pull it up now, but yeah, we had a meme jingle. Just a couple memes to
it's meme time.
To
meme time
land the
John's,
show,
folks.
All right, so we got the meme where you got the two. What was the guy's name? The rapper guy.
This is Drake.
I'm actually proud that I couldn't remember his name. Yeah, it's a Drake thing where the first cell he's saying no, he's like rejecting it, and on the second thing he's saying yeah. And so on the top one where he's saying no, it says cleaning the streets of San Francisco for your residents. Not happening. And then for cleaning the streets of San Francisco for a communist dictator. Hey.
Yeah, that's good. I think maybe there's a reason why we stopped doing the meme segment.
What about this one? This one, I like this one. This one might get me in trouble, but I liked it. It's funny. It's the one where there's 4 cells. It's like a comic. It's 4 blocks. In the first one, there's a white guy, blonde hair, looks very sad. It's cartoon. And there's some text in boxes here. It says, "We called you racist, white supremacist, Nazi, anti-Semite, and you have like the "Don't Tread on Me" flag in the background. You got the Pepe, the Nazi flag, the whole thing, like the whole culture there. And then the next cell is of a picture of a guy, like a burning fireman. I don't know who he is. I guess he's the one doing the controlling or whatever. And he's saying, "Oh no, is he? Who is? Are you saying?"
I think it's just like another version of somebody who was who
was attacked or whatever.
Okay,
sure. And the text in that cell says, "We canceled your heroes, raised your statues, trashed your history." And then the third cell is just a kind of a blank, dark cloud or something, and it says, "But now it's time to put our differences aside." And then the fourth cell, "And die for Israel." And there's a army man that looks really happy with a gun, and it says U.S.
Very
Army
patriotic.
under it. And it just makes the point there that it seems to have been there's a lot of flipperoos happening recently.
Yeah, right. The purposeful cultural deconstruction or disintegration of sort of the identity of young white men, demonizing them, erasing them, and then suddenly when we need them to go to war,
giving them a purpose.
We can be all patriotic.
Yes. A very common pattern, but I thought it was very appropriate. Again, might get me in trouble, but it's at this point. What doesn't get us in trouble, Basil?
Memes don't get anybody in trouble.
I mean, if it's not, that's not true. That's not true.
Actually,
there are places.
I've been working a little bit more on my meme schooling, especially in the context of fifth generational warfare. For a couple of years previously, I've been talking about memes and their actual importance. You know, they're not just basically internet trash littered about, but they're very important. They're sort of a look into the subconscious of a population, and not only a look into the subconscious of a population, but you know, in fifth generational warfare, a quality meme farm can actually affect the subconscious of a generation or
I was going to say, we didn't cover the story. From a couple weeks ago.
The memes are split. The ecosystem of meming is actually split into several factions, and it's very interesting to see how they're all trying to win this sort of fifth generational battle on the internet. It's real deal. I mean, it's like a serious actual battle going on that a lot of people don't really realize, because you see a meme and you chuckle and you move on.
This is the internet. This is the entire technological revolution. Everyone laughs at it. It's ridiculous, and then it becomes the most serious thing ever. But we didn't cover the story from a couple weeks ago, but New York Times, man who spread misinformation on Trump's behalf sentenced to 7 months. The Douglas McKay story, where he spread the memes about Hillary Clinton in 2016.
Text voting. Yeah.
And went to jail.
Yeah, and of course there was a leftist person who did the exact same thing, only in the opposite direction, and they didn't get anything. So this memes, I'm not going to go into it now, but there's some updates on the academia of memery that one of these days I'll bring back.
Well, the New York Times quoted Douglas McKay, mentioning that this was part of all this was a deep psyop of meme war. So this is like tip of the spear culturally. And again, it's just a joke, everybody. But then it's the most serious thing ever. That's kind of the pattern.
Surprise, surprise. The New York Times is just now reporting on what your best buddy Basil was telling you a couple of years ago. It's how it goes. But thank you, folks. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. If you're new to the show, if you found us because of some interviews or different episodes recently, we appreciate you being here. If you stuck through it, congratulations. And we hope you come back.
Sorry, I just saw Brian in the chat there. I guess this memes war. Very good. Very good.
Memes war. That's very good. Yes. All right. And meme terrorists, too. Don't forget about them.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for producing the show. Thank you to our talented producers sending in art and jingles. Thank you to our financial producers. A couple more producers to thank, and then we'll be out of here, starting with the Clippies.
Flippy on those videos. Thanks.
Yeah, Clippies. They're talented and beautiful people who've clipped the show. And go follow the Canary Cry Clips channel on YouTube and Odyssey to see all those. And we are actively recruiting more Clippies. If you want to put some value back into the show and you have, the very basic video editing skills, send us an email at canarycryradio@gmail.com. And we are so thankful for the Clippies, and it's only made possible by the Timestampers.
Timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp.
Yeah, folks, these are people who timestamp the show, often live. These timestamps are available immediately after the show, and we're so proud of them. We talk about how great they are all the time, but I do want to actually say I am literally very proud of them. I would not be able to do what they're doing, and they bring so much value to the show. Let's see here. Who did the timestamps?
Morgan E. did it for 688, but it was probably a little easier job since it was the Adam Curry interview. And I see the note there. There was the beginning of the show, and that's all we really needed in terms of timestamps.
Well, thank you anyways, Morgan E., for your constant attention on the timestamps.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you to Jam for the links. Thank you to Ike for some links there. Ike's hot on the trail of an interesting story I'm taking a look at. Thank you to Clank for clanking. Other than that, folks, share the show. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with your fellow meme warriors on the internet. That's right. I know you're here. You're undercover. You come with perhaps maleficent intentions to negatively meme the show. Perhaps you're here fighting on the side of good and righteous news deconstruction. You're here to create memes, and we will see you on the battlefield of the mind. Because memes win wars, folks. And if we're going to win this war against the legacy news media coming for the jugular 24/7, we're gonna need some hot memes. So put on your meme hat, make some memes, put them on the internet. People will soon find out who has the upper hand in the media war for your mind. That's just one way that you can share the show. We call it rattling cages. If you need any other instructions, here's what you do. You walk right up to him, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted. I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! Don't ever silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Gons, you got any last words?
Yeah, I think we need to put Psalm 144 on a t-shirt or something. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war, my fingers for battle. Again, I think the Bible predicted.
For memes.
Yeah, the Bible predicted the meme wars.
Keyboard warriors.
Keyboard warriors. Wouldn't you know it? So there you go. I think this should be a very important verse for our sake here, Basil. Should really run with that. I don't think anybody's really talked about it other than us in this context. Maybe some listeners have heard other, Bible people or Christians say, "Hey, look, meme warfare predicted in the Bible in Psalm 144, verse 1."
That's what'll finally get us the attention of this one. All right, meme fiends. Make sure to tune in next time to the next episode of Canary Cry News Talk. But until then, think outside
the meme cage.
This is the way.
We're all gonna die.
This is the United States of America, for God's sake. Armageddon's on the way.
It will kill.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
Wives in the cosmos, children in the space lane.
I'm an adult in a spaceship.
Supersonic space lane screamed to life and the vehicle swooped upward on board. The passengers experienced 3 G's of force from the burst of extreme acceleration and watched the blue sky fade into space.
In the back have been cleared to unstrap.
Oh, yeah.
In the back have been cleared to unstrap.
Yes. Do it, Richard. Do it, Jeff. Do it for humanity.
down there. I was once a child with a dream. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship.
Toilets! He can accomplish it. You can too. Big windows, cool. Rocket ship, cool. Space plane, cool.
Nukes,
cool.
Blowing stuff up,
cool. Space plane, astronaut, rocket ship.
Avius anchor,
Jeff Bezos is a human. Just look at him. Go to the bathroom in bags. Toilets! Can go to the bathroom in the cosmos. It changed everything. Wives in space, children in the cosmos. With your best friend, brother. Wives in the cosmos, children in the space plane.
We are headed to space.
What we have is treasure in earthen vessels. That the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us. We are trouble on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, not in despair. For God, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge, the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Always bearing about in the body the dying of the Lord Jesus, that the life also of Jesus might be made manifest in our body. For God, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge, the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. For God, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge, the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ.
I've ordered more pills than anyone in the world.
Value for value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Bye bye, bye bye. I'm out of here. Bye.
Canary cried, that's support.